Now we're going to be finding a perimeter of a polygon using tangents. Remember how earlier I mentioned in a previous lecture before, I said that a segment or line that touches a circle only once is called a tangent. So let's say I have a circle, and let's say I have a point up here and I have a tangent line over here. And then I have another tangent over here. Notice how my two tangents, I call them tangents because they touch the circle only once. I'm even going to point out the point where they touch it. Now, interesting though, is that this segment out here, I'm going to highlight it in red. And this segment out here, I'm going to say when two tangent segments meet outside of the circle, let me call this first one X, could be any number. So let's just say that is X. I'm going to say this other value here, this other tangent here is also X. So two tangent segments that meet outside of the circle, they have the same length. I'm not talking about degrees this time. I'm talking about the length of a segment. Two tangent segments that meet outside of the circle have the same measurement, same length. So having that said, let's take a look at number 13. I see a tangent segment here. This is 10.9. And I see this other tangent segment here. I'm going to say this is also 10.9. Pretty cool, homie. Now, I see another tangent segment here. This is 14. So this other tangent segment here will be 14 because they both meet outside. Having that said, I look at these two tangent segments. I don't know the value of either one. So I have to solve for one of them. And I'm going to say they both are equal. However, I want you to pay attention to this 22.6. 22.6 is the whole side. Part of it is 14. So I'm going to say this other part here, it is 8.6. Because I subtracted 22.6 minus 14. That's how I got that that was 8.6. So guess what? This other segment here, it is 8.6. Nice. Now, I want you to pay attention to this 19.3. I'm going to be able to solve for this part. The whole thing is 19.3. Part of it is 8.6. So I'm going to go 19.3 minus 8.6, and I get 10.7. And guess what? This side right here, it is 10.7 as well. Good. So in red, you guys see I found every little piece, every little measurement. But here, the instructions are find the perimeter of each polygon. Assume the lines which appear to be tangent are tangent. So let me use blue. I see my polygon has 4 sides. I'm going to mark it out here. I'm going to see the 4 sides. Okay. I'm going to say this side up here. For me to find out how big is the whole thing, I'm going to go 14 plus 10.9, the two measurements. So I'm going to say this right here is 24.9, this whole side. Now this whole side, I can, 14 plus 8.6, I could add the two pieces, or I can use this value out here. This whole thing is 22.6, right? I already knew that was 22.6. This whole side out here at the bottom right, the whole thing is 19.3, right? I can see the 19.3. I could have added 8.6 plus 10.7 to figure it out. Now this other side, I'm going to add 10.9 plus 10.7. So that gives me 21.6. Now to find out the perimeter of my polygon, let me add those 4 sides. So I'm going to go 24.9 plus 21.6 plus 19.3 plus 22.6. And all of this add up to 88.4. I added the 4 measurements. Use a calculator. Pause this video if you need to. So 24.9 plus 21.6 plus 19.3 plus 22.6. It is equal to 88.4. Nice. Let's take a look at number 14. First, let me look at my tangents. I see a tangent segment there is 7.4. So this one right here, it is 7.4 as well. I can find out these two tangent segments. I know they have the same length, but I want to look at this one. I see the whole thing is 21.4. Part of it is 7.4. So let me subtract those. 21.4 minus 7.4. So I'm going to find out that this one is 14. 21.4 minus 7.4. And this other one right here, it is also 14, right? They have the same length. Now this last one right here, this is 10.7. So I'm going to call this one 10.7. Good, I found all my tangent segments. Now looking at my polygon has 3 sides. There's one right here, there's one right here, and there's one right here. This one right here, it is 21.4. One, I had it there, 21.4, or I could have added the 2 small segments. Now for this one right here, you guys can see here at the right, you see my cursor moving. So this one here, 7.4 plus 10.7. If I add those two, I find out that this is 18.1. And then here, this last one, I'm going to add 14 plus 10.7. So I'm going to call this 24.7. Now to find my perimeter, this polygon has 3 sides. So I'm going to add all 3. So 21.4 plus 18.1 plus 24.7. I'm going to find out this is equal to 64.2. Keep in mind some polygons. Question number 13. My polygon had 4 sides. Question number 14, my polygon only had 3 sides.